We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The best part of the nighttime racing season at Los Alamitos is here, as the best quarter horses in the nation set to compete in our biggest race, like the Los Alamitos Super Derby, the Champion of Champions, and the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity. Plus, the best bets in night racing continue, like our early and late pick fours, always with the best pools at night. And of course, our Pick 6 promos on Sunday nights. The best part of the year is here at Los Alamitos.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the race books and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program on this Thursday as we count down now, no longer months, no more longer weeks, no longer days. We're getting down to counting by hours, it seems, before we get started with the Breeders' Cup 2-day championship that will start tomorrow with the Stars of the Future. 5 races, Breeders' Cup races for 2-year-olds, and then, of course, on Saturday, the big divisions of all the rest, 9 of those on Saturday, highlighted by the Breeders' Cup Classic. We welcome you to the show. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station, and, of course, right here at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard and the South Point Casino, South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube. We're at YouTube. Really that simple. Just look for Race Day and you can get us on YouTube. And certainly, if you're listening here in town on a crisp morning out here in Las Vegas at our local radio station, our anchor radio station, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, and all of the other websites, our website, you got raceday.com, .vegas.world, all that stuff. Your iPhone, Android, and Google with the apps that you can get, the YouTube and KSHP apps, and anywhere you get your podcasting, etc. However, wherever, whenever. Welcome to the Race Day Show for this almost Breeders' Cup Friday, Thursday. Now, don't forget, later on today at 3 o'clock Pacific time, right here where you're watching now, we're going to have this Race Day Las Vegas Breeders' Cup special from the South Point right here on the South Point streaming at YouTube only. It's only going to be on the YouTube streaming. That's at 3 o'clock this afternoon, featuring our Race Day handicappers. Of course, Jonathan Hardoon and John Lendo will be here on set with us. They're not with us this morning. They are already traveling, and I had good news. Jonathan texted me, said not only did he get on the plane, but it left New York on time. With all these delays, he got out on time, so he's in the air right now. And, of course, John Lendo is on the road right now, coming up from Southern California. So they will be with us on set here later on today for the Breeders' Cup special, along with Chris Andrews, who is the sports director here, loves to play and is a good handicapper as well of horse racing. Vinny Miliulo, he loves horse racing as well. He's the odds maker, Vinny Miliulo. And then, of course, Alex White. She, of course, is the host of Sports by the Book right here, where you can see as well on the YouTube streaming network. Sports by the Book's Alex White. She's going to give us maybe a lady's perspective of what's going on as far as handicapping for the Breeders' Cup. And, of course, Steve Johnson, the racebook director, will be here with us later on as well to tell us about all the good things that are happening right here at the South Point. They're getting ready for all that stuff, and it starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon right here in the studio here. So we invite you to come on back and see what they got to say about the Breeders' Cup. While John and Jonathan are in flight and on the road to get here to the South Point, and we hope you do the same in the next couple of days. Join us for the big Breeders' Cup viewing party on Saturday, and, of course, the seminar tomorrow night in the Grandview Lounge at 6 o'clock. We're going to have a special guest with us, a gentleman who's been with us from time to time, and that is Dave Track Phantom Valento. Dave Valento is going to be with us today to give us his insight into the Breeders' Cup. And, of course, he's done extensive work. I could tell you got to get to his website because he has done extensive work for the Breeders' Cup. He does a great job there. So we're going to have Dave on to talk over on the Breeders' Cup. And, of course, Rich Eng is here. He'll be here to give us the NFL pick for tonight. There's the Thursday night NFL game. And, of course, Jerry Jackowitz will be with us as well. He told me, texted me yesterday, he was working on the Breeders' Cup as we spoke yesterday. So how about that? He's getting ahead of the game, so to speak. Couple of quick items, news items. First of all, Belmont at Aqueduct has been canceled today. Now, you know that big hurricane that's gone through the Bahamas and Cuba and all of that. It's on its way out to sea east in the East Sea Ocean of Atlantic Ocean, but it's the remnants of it, the outskirts of it, with all the rain and storm and wind, is still going to brush up against the East Coast. And as a result of that, Belmont and Aqueduct canceled their races today because of the expected high winds and heavy rains in the area. So there is no racing today at Belmont and Aqueduct. It has been canceled. That's the only official cancel we've had. Now, that's, of course, on the East Coast. You know, there's other racetracks that are scheduled to go today on the East Coast. But for right now, that is the only cancellation. I will check during the break and see if there are any more posted. All right? And jockey Frankie Dettori, one of the most popular jockeys around there, a guy that exudes all sorts of energy and confidence and just positive vibes at the racetrack. Frankie Dettori is going to retire race riding after the Breeders' Cup this weekend. He made that announcement on X, on a posting on X, And his posting said, following the Breeders' Cup on Saturday, I will be retiring from race riding in the United States and concluding my career with a few rides in South America, something I've always wanted to do, Dettori said. That announcement for the rides in South America is expected to come sometime today, and we'll find out where he's going to wrap up his career there in South America. He went on to say, it has been an honor to compete at the highest level of this sport for over 4 decades. I'm deeply grateful to my family, the owners, trainers, stable staff, and of course the supporters who have made my career possible. Dettori further wrote, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout this incredible journey. And I'm sure that we would love to see Dettori win one more Breeders' Cup race this weekend so he can have his famous and probably his last jump from the saddle as he jumps out of the saddle in the winner's circle. Now, Dettori is 54 years old. He's named to ride 5 Breeders' Cup races. He's going to be on Friday. He's going to be on Aspen Island in the Juvenile Turf Sprint tomorrow, and Imagination Lady on the Juvenile Fillies Turf. He was named to ride Civil Liberty in the Juvenile, but that horse has been scratched. And then Saturday he'll be on Kadim in the Turf Sprint and Wimbledon Hawkeye in the Turf and Argene in the Mile. So we just want to pass along our congratulations to a great career for Frankie Dettori and all the great memories and the good positive stuff that he has given us over the years, that's for sure. So he'll be missed. His energy certainly will be missed, that's for sure. But what a great career that man has had. All right. Well, like I said, Dave Valento is standing by on our show. We're going to get to the racing menu, and then we'll get to Dave and Richie and Jerry. And, of course, the racing menu will be coming up next. Now, don't forget today at 3 o'clock, right here where you got us now, right here, unless you're listening on the radio or on any of the other websites or phone apps, because that ain't going to work this afternoon. Now, the phone app for YouTube will, because you'll be getting it through YouTube. What I'm saying is only on the YouTube outlet. If you can get YouTube outlet on any one of your devices, that's the way you do it. But on the YouTube outlet, at the South Point Studio streaming, the Race Day Las Vegas Breeders' Cup Special today at 3 o'clock Pacific Time. You won't want to miss it, that's for sure. All right, we'll take our first break. We'll get you your racing menu, and then we're going to have hopefully a nice extensive conversation with Dave Valento, giving us some insight into what to expect in the Breeders' Cup from what has already happened in the 42 other editions of the Breeders' Cup. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
The best part of the nighttime racing season at Los Alamitos is here, as the best quarter horses in the nation set to compete in our biggest race, like the Los Alamitos Super Derby, the Champion of Champions, and the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity. Plus, the best bets in night racing continue, like our early and late pick fours, always with the best pools at night. And of course, our Pick 6 promos on Sunday nights. The best part of the year is here at Los Alamitos.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas, taking a look at the weather here in Las Vegas. Right now it's 55 degrees, so it's pretty crisp out there right now. It's perfect time of year, though, at this time of the year. After all, we're going to be into November by the time we get to the Breeders' Cup Classic. So it's 55 today. We're going to get up to 83, and that's going to be the temperature range for the rest of the weekend here in Las Vegas. If you're coming up, bring a sweater or a jacket for the evenings, and, of course, in the afternoons, you can wear a short sleeve shirt. But you won't be outside because you'll be in with us, where the weather is always fast, firm, and perfect in the race book and in the grand ballroom for celebrating and betting and enjoying the Breeders' Cup this weekend. That's for sure. East Coast, like I said, there's plenty of action going on. I mean, there's a lot of torrential rain and all that stuff that's just going through the Northeast. So it's going to be a mess up there in the Northeast. Now, taking a look at Del Mar, because after all, we're going to, Del Mar is where they're going to have the Breeders' Cup next couple of days. It's going to be beautiful out there in Southern California. Today in Los Angeles for the opening day of the Del Mar meeting. By the way, Del Mar opens today for that brief meeting they have in the wintertime. Los Angeles is going to be 89 degrees. So down at Del Mar, it should be between 80, 81, 82, something like that. But it's going to be perfect out there today. Sunny and beautiful in Southern California. That's the way it's going to be for the next couple of days and through the Breeders' Cup as well down there. So we will have fast and firm racing conditions down there. And like I said, Los Angeles will be 89 today. Phoenix, Arizona is going to get to 90 degrees today. And believe it or not, they're the hottest spot in the nation again, beating out that Brownsville, Texas, which will only be 79 today. As you can see, some of the cool weather making its way to the East Coast. Miami, 80 degrees. As far as New York, it's just rainy and a mess at 63. Chicago, 56 and partly cloudy and sunny. The front is moving through there, going through the Northeast, etc. So you can see that the bad weather's up there in the Northeast. Anyhow, that's the weather conditions for today. Shouldn't affect any of the racing as far as Del Mar and Churchill Downs. Getting to the racing menu. Here's the racing menu for today. And, of course, as you know, the first post times will be Pacific. So if you're in the Pacific time zone, no problem, as we are here in the race book at the South Point. If you're in another time zone, any other time zone anywhere, just adjust from the Pacific time zone so you won't miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? We begin the menu with Mahoning Valley Racecourse. First post time at Mahoning Valley with a pick six jackpot carryover of $8,422 is set at $9.15. $9.15 at Mahoning. Churchill Downs on its Thursday card has 10 races today at Churchill. They have a super high five carryover of $24,292. They've got a pick six jackpot carryover of $43,428. And that is a result of the highest payoff in the nation yesterday. One of their pick fives paid $41,877.90. The late pick five, okay? $41,877.90. Pick four, about $12,113.21. And those were the two as high payoff in the nation yesterday. Churchill Downs has 10 races today with the first post time of 10 a.m. And again, super high five carryover, $24,292. Pick six jackpot carryover, $43,428. Churchill, first post time, 10 a.m. As we said, Belmont at Aqueduct, that would come up next, has been canceled because of bad weather. Canceled those races at Belmont at Aqueduct today. Horseshoe Indianapolis, they got a super high five carryover of $4,196. And their first post time at Horseshoe Indianapolis for 9 races set at 11:10. First 8 will be thoroughbreds. The final race will be a quarter horse race there at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Del Mar, where the turf meets the surf and the championship is about. 12:30, first post time today at Del Mar, 9 races. Their feature race today will be the Let It Ride Stakes at a mile on the turf for 3-year-olds. It's the 7th race on the card, 7 to the post before scratches, and Friendly Confines is the 2-1 favorite with Flavian Pratt aboard. 9 races at Del Mar. First post time is at 12:30 today. Hawthorne Racecourse. Hawthorne has a super high five carryover of $1,310, and their first post time at Hawthorne today for 11 races. Man, they got full fields today at Hawthorne. 11 races. First post time is at 12:40. Woodbine, north of the border. 7 races today at Woodbine. They may have a little bit of an effect of all that bad weather, but they got a synthetic racetrack up there. Woodbine has a carryover in the Pick 6 jackpot of $3,651, and their Super High 5 jackpot carryover is $56,248. First post time, Woodbine, 7 races, 2:30 today. Delta Downs has 8 races. Their first post time is 2:45. Penn National has 9 races. Their first post time is also at 2:45, and they have a carryover in their Super High 5 jackpot of $1,544. Penn National, 2:45. Charlestown has 8 races. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $61,573. 8 races, first post time 4 p.m. And then we wrap it up with Remington Park. Remington Park has 9 races, and their first post time is also at 4 p.m. All righty. Now I want to introduce a gentleman who is a hardworking guy, and I can tell you his product is something that you really should get, on, especially on days like coming up here for the Breeders' Cup. He does immense work for the product, and he's known as the Track Phantom. We know him as Dave Valento. Dave, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. How are you? Are you excited about this Breeders' Cup?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there's going to be quite a few good betting opportunities, good races, some full fields and interesting horses. So you never really know until it unfolds, but I think it's going to be a good 2 days.
Well, there's some storylines, I think. First of all, Rebels Romance, of course, trying to go for 3 in a row. Then you got the East-West confrontation in the juvenile tomorrow. And, of course, the Breeders' Cup Classic. Although even it took a hit with Sovereignty being scratched because of a fever, it's still got a deep competitive race of horses. And most of the accomplished horses in big races this year are all assembling for that Classic.
Yeah, that did take a hit with Sovereignty out of the race. It's still a really good race. I mean, you really have all the top players in it. I think I think Fierceness didn't get a good draw from the rail. He's going to have to go from the inside. I'm not sure that's an ideal spot for him, especially when you consider that they're going to have a rabbit in the race and make sure that the pace is pretty quick. But I actually, in that race, I really like Mindframe quite a bit. When you break down his past performance, he's really done nothing wrong. He's only lost 2 races, and both were to Dornoch in the Belmont and the Haskell. And I know in the Haskell, he was basically limited at the start with a bad break. So, but I think they're going to be good prices all the way around. I can't see anybody really being under 3-1, 5-2 in that race. So it's going to be a good race.
You mentioned Mindframe, but that race that he won on the undercard on Kentucky Derby weekend, I think it was maybe on Derby Day, that 7 furlong race in a blanket finish was really something. I mean, that was really a gutty win.
Yeah, that was about a 7-horse photo.
Yeah, it was.
There were about 7 horses across the line at the end there, and that race had horses like Nisos and Bookham Nano that were beat in that race, and Mindframe ended up winning it. Just an absolutely loaded race. One of the questions on Mindframe people have is whether or not he's really bred to go that long. Does he really want the distance? I mean, he won the Stephen Foster over Sierra Leone 2 starts ago, and then, of course, last time out through the rider. I don't have a problem with you get Ira Ortiz on it. I think he's going to be a fair price, maybe around 5-6-1. I think that's probably where I'm going to end up going, probably playing that one pretty heavily there.
Well, a lot of the statistics that people use, and I'm sure that you went over this one as well, and maybe even, when I read your stuff, this might be your comment, but I read Ortiz Jr. is the most productive rider in the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, that could be true. I mean, it doesn't say, if he's not now, he will be. That's for sure. Him and Pratt are going to get all the best miles mostly. But yeah, he's loaded this weekend. I read. He's going to have a lot of great opportunities to win. But yeah, it's. I think races like that where you could go 3, 4, 5 different ways. In just one more comment on the Classic.
Yeah.
I really wanted to play or lean on Baeza there. just can't quite see him winning the race, but he's a horse I think that's going to keep improving. He's going to be a good price, and he's another one that I think has a good chance, and I'll probably sprinkle in a bit. But very, very difficult race and very competitive, and those are the kind of races we like to bet.
You know, Baeza, of course, showed a lot of promise early, and he just, you're right, he was just improving at a slower rate than Sovereignty and Journalism, etc. But winning the Pennsylvania Derby, getting over that hump, I know it wasn't the best of fields, but getting over that hump and winning the race pretty decisively might have just turned on the switch for this horse. And you're right, I think I'm going to use Baeza as far as my gimmicks are concerned to get there, to hit me maybe a trifecta, superfecta, or maybe even an exacta. And then you've got the late developing Nevada Beach under the very capable hands of Bob Baffert. I mean, I don't know how much importance as far as handicapping this race you can take away from his Goodwood win, but that was a nice win.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you can never, ever overlook a horse like this for Bob Baffert, especially in his backyard. So, yeah, he's probably not, you're going to have to draw a line somewhere in the race, and he's probably one that I'll take a stand against. But, I could easily build a pretty solid case for him.
Now, you talk about having a rabbit in the race. The rabbit in the race is obviously there to help the chances out of the winner of last year's Breeders' Cup Classic, Sierra Leone. That's definitely a closer. His MO is closing in the races, and certainly he needs a lively pace to have a good chance of closing into. Not too many people are talking about Sovereign for Sierra Leone.
Yeah, he's with the scratch of Sovereignty, he's the main closer in the race. He's going to get enough speed. He's drawn perfectly. You got Pratt on him, who knows him well. Won the race last year in a very similar situation, although it was more horses in the race, and they certainly went. They certainly set him up. They went 44 in 4 and 109 and 2. They aren't going to go that fast this time, and maybe the rabbit will, but the other horses aren't going to go up in that. So I don't think he's going to get quite the same setup as he got last year. But he is an absolute threat to win. I mean, there's really not a knock. That's why this race is so great. You really could build a pretty strong case for Sierra Leone there, and I'll use him for sure.
And finally, when you get to the Breeders' Cup every year, you always got to take into account the foreign horses, and certainly have to, go off the past performances, et cetera, and get, up to snuff on the foreign horses. But there's one foreign horse that a lot of the Americans are pretty familiar with, and that is Forever Young, who won his nice prep overseas and has been at Del Mar for a while. And, boy, we remember him in the Derby, et cetera. So, he looks like he could be a factor, too.
He's right there. I mean, he's I actually downgraded him a little bit on the loss in the Dubai World Cup when Hit Show beat him in Mixto. Didn't think much of those at this level, but then Hit Show came back and won a pretty big race. I forget which one it was last weekend.
Yeah, over Churchill, I think. Yeah.
But he won.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was kind of interesting because in that race you had, I'm drawing a blank of which 3-year-olds were in the race, but there was one of those where you had some viable second-tier 3-year-olds and viable second-tier older horses, and the older horses dominated there. So then maybe that does speak well for horses like Forever Young and Sierra Leone and Fierceness, and maybe just slightly a little knock on the 3-year-olds like Baez and Journalism. We'll see. Yeah,
I think in that race, the big horse that got a lot of attention was Gosker.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in that race too. So as you can see, folks, we went through quite a few horses, and Dave has never said any one of the horses I just mentioned is a throwout, because there's practically nothing but a throwout except the rabbit in the race, and it's going to be the trip's going to mean everything, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's why the only horse that I'm probably slightly against at the price would be Fierceness, just because I don't think he's going to be in a great spot early in the race. He's going to have to, send a bit from the inside. The pace will be a little bit fast, but again, it's really hard to knock that horse too. So, yeah, it's a great race. It'll be a fun one.
Looking at some of the other Breeders' Cup races before we let you go, the Breeders' Cup Distaff, like the Classic that took a hit with the fever of Sovereignty, lost their marquee horse, and of course the reigning horse of the year, Torpedo Anna, that has been since retired. But she'd have been an odds-on favorite to win the Breeders' Cup Distaff. But without her in it, they found a field of 13 fillies and mares that want to take the place of the mantle of Torpedo Anna.
Yeah, this isn't one of my favorite races. I didn't really find anything very creative in this race. I ended up leaning on the Baffert favorite here, just off of those 3 wins, but I'm very, very tepid lean there. I just, she's coming into the race, such good form. She's won twice out of 3 starts at Del Mar. I kind of like her there, but it's one of those races where there's so many horses that look similar to me. I can't really differentiate some of these. So it's one that I'll go very deep in some multi-race wagers.
So in other words, Seismic Beauty might be your free bingo square in the race, but with all the other horses that are going to be good prices, double-digit prices, etc., hooking some of those up, if they get there along even with the favorite, the exotics are going to pay well, like the Exactas, Tries, and Supers, right?
Yeah, I don't even know that I would say that Seismic Beauty is any kind of solid lean in the race. I like her best. I think she's the most likely winner. But I think it's one of those races where I wouldn't be surprised to see 6 or 8 of the horses win in that race. So I'll probably play a bunch there in multi-race wagers. Probably won't lean heavily on Seismic Beauty there.
Dave, you said that wasn't the race that it was really one of the races they were, really jazzed about. So what might they be? Do you have a couple of races in mind outside of the Classic that you think are going to really be good shots?
Well, the race that I probably spent the most time, watching replays, digging into was the sprint, actually, the dirt sprint.
Mm-hmm.
It was, let me just bring it up here. I had the race narrowed down to 4 main contenders: Copian, the 1, Banishing, the 2, Imagination, the 7, and the likely favorite, I think, which will be the 10, Ben Tornado. And I think a lot of people are leaning on the 10. The horse that got my attention was the 7, Imagination, 6-1 morning line with Baffert and Hernandez. That last race in the San Diego Sprint Championship, which has been a big producer for winners of the sprint, that was a different animal on the track. That was off a layoff. He hadn't run since January, and he just inhaled that field. I mean, it really was an impressive win. Now, probably not facing the best horses street, relative to what it's going to see here. Straight, no Chaser was in the race, but I think he wasn't 100% geared up, so you have to temper that a little bit. But the way he won visually and what the success Baffert has had in races like this, and when you go back to his early career, he was second by a neck in the Santa Anita Derby, then got lost a little bit, and then the Malibu, the Grade 1 Malibu, was a really good race. Obviously, Raging Torrent came up to win the Met Mile. So I think that this is a good, solid play at roughly around 5-1, and that's where I'm going to put a lot of my attention on Saturday.
When I saw that race at Del Mar, I thought the same thing. Not so much of the competition he beat, but how he did it. It was so impressive, a performance. And certainly, like you said, Baffert knows how to get horses ready on big days. That's for sure. That's talking about, of course, the races on Saturday. Now, Friday will be the horses, the stars of the future. And I guess the race that really has kind of like the attention of East versus West is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. They only got 8 horses in it, but you got Ted Naffy, who's got a hell of a resume, and by the way, a hell of a closing kick. He's 4-5 in the race, based his morning line at 4-5. And then you got the horse they paid over $3 million for, Brant, trained by Bob Baffert, who is the second choice at 5-2. And these two will be breaking from the starting gate right next to each other in post 7 and 8, respectively. Brant will have 7, and the 8 will be Ted Naffy in the mile and 16th race. And it's going to be fun to watch these two go at it right from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a top-heavy race with the 2 favorites there. I do like Blackout Time a little bit to run up there. Ted Naffy looks strong, but again, I mean, same name, Baffert, at Del Mar, horse that's won twice, expensive horse for his. I mean, obviously a major player in the race. Again, maybe not the best betting race, but it'll be a fun race to see it unfold. I actually like the other part of the division, the Phillies juvenile.
Yeah.
I think the 8 in that race, Super Cordero for Sadler, 15-1 morning line is an interesting player there. She two sprints, kind of pedestrian finishes in both of them, laid her off a bit, came back in that maiden special weight on the stretch out. And again, just like the other horse I mentioned, she was just a different runner. They bet her down to 2-1. They knew this was the right spot given her breeding. And then Sadler, I don't know this for sure. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't see him as someone that gets overly aggressive with a 2-year-old in a big race, meaning that you got a last out maiden winner that hadn't even tried a stakes race and jumping right into a grade 1. I don't think that's his MO, and I think that this horse actually has a lot under the hood. That's one that I'm going to pay attention to at that price for sure.
And Hector Barrios, who is rides a lot for Sadler and successfully, I might add, is aboard that one at 15-1. That is the 7th race tomorrow, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, where, of course, the favorite is Explora, and, of course, that's a Baffert horse. But at nice 15-1, juicy 15-1, you could work with this horse in that race and make some money. All I can say is, Dave, I want to thank you so much for sharing time and giving us a nice little long shot there, a live long shot for us. You got to tell everybody where to get your product, because really, there's a lot of times when you will be nice enough to send me a complimentary copy of some of your product, and certainly the Breeders' Cup stuff you really hit a home run on as far as going into the detail of not only the history of the race and some of the key elements of productive, elements of the history of the race, and applying it to the races this weekend.
Yeah, it's at trackphantom.com. You just go into the horse racing analysis section, and when you go through the checkout process, use promo code 333, and it'll drop that price by $5. And
wow,
as you mentioned, one thing that I do have in addition to the analysis is that I've got a historical trends document that basically looks at each race and kind of identifies the successful or not successful trends related to that race. Which races did the Euros usually dominate, closers, and so on.
Yeah.
So that actually helped me personally when I was handicapping. I referred back to it multiple times as I was trying to differentiate some horses. So some good stuff there, and it's at trackphantom.com.
And you're going to give a discount, you said, for the code of 333. You said 3.
Yep. During the checkout process, there's an area you can enter a promo code. Put in 333. They'll drop it by 5. You get the whole week, which is today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for $25.
All right. You got to do that today. That'll be the first good bet you make of the weekend. That's for sure. And Dave, I read the entire historic. You're talking about the elements there, the trends, and all that. And I'll be using some of those little nuggets for our seminar tomorrow night as we set up doing this
Sounds
seminar.
Great. I'll be tuning in.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dave. And we will definitely credit you for that. But it's only just the tip of the iceberg. You got to get this thing, folks, if you're going to seriously look at Del Mar and try to get, some of their prices there. That's for sure. Thanks a lot, Dave. Dave Valento, Track Phantom. Thanks a lot, my man. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Thank you, buddy.
There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans.
Everybody knows where the money's going, every single dollar. God bless you.
Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting t2t.org.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the culture. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, Don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this day before the big two-day Breeders' Cup Championship. And we're going to go now to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Now, Richie, we had you and a few other handicappers on our show yesterday, but you're the guy that came through with flying colors for us. You got us a winner at Parks Racing, of all places. You give us a winner at Parks Racing. Now, they bet the horse down from 7 to 2, paid $4.60, but a short price is better than a long face, that's for sure, and you got the job done there at Parks Racing. So, like you said, you peruse the entire country looking for those key isolated picks, that's for sure. You've been doing work on the Breeders' Cup for the 2 days. Is all that material done now?
Well, day one was done yesterday early. I sent that into brisnet.com. That's been circulated, and people have been buying it off the racedaylasvegas.com website.
Mm-hmm.
Day two, Ralph, I just have a couple things to clean up this morning, and that will go into Brisnet probably an hour or two after this show, and I'll be emailing it out to the people who bought it on the racedaylasvegas.com website. And I really appreciate the people who responded. And, one thing about the products like this, and, you're talking to Track Phantom Dave Valento, is if you try our products one time and have success with it, there is a tendency to have repeat customers. I know that's the case with me, probably the case with Dave too, and it's really enjoyable to try to share information and winners with all the fans out there.
Yeah, did you say the day one is already out there?
Yeah, day one. I have not sent it to you, Ralph, but it'll go out right after the show. But day one is done, and day two is like 90% done.
I was about ready to check my spam box.
No, hopefully he doesn't end up there.
In any case, real quick, if you have thought about many of the handicappers you see out there and say, I should try his product sometime. The best time to do it is like on a weekend like this for Breeders' Cup. It really is, because you guys do extensive work and, you really put a lot of time into it. Hey, we got an NFL game tonight we're going to try to squeeze in before all of the big action for the next 2 days of Breeders' Cup. What do you got for us?
Well, it's the Baltimore Ravens against the Miami Dolphins. The game's at Miami. And, I played against the Dolphins on Sunday, Ralph. I played the Atlanta Falcons. And in all candor, the Miami Dolphins were the right side. They absolutely obliterated the Falcons. Kirk Cousins, who I was hoping was going to bounce back with a big game, was the exact opposite. He looked like a rookie quarterback who'd never played in the league, and Miami blew him out. I did use Miami early in the season against Buffalo, if you remember, on a Thursday night, where they were like a 12-point underdog, and they gave Buffalo a good game. But, the future, the route of the Baltimore Ravens is actually a more concerned about. They have been injury plagued from the start of the year. They were out to a 1-5 start. They played a really good game last week against the Bears, and there were two things that jumped off the board. One was Lamar Jackson was still out, so Huntley played a quarterback, and what they did to protect him is they ran the ball almost 40 times against the Chicago Bears and were very effective. And the defense is getting healthier. They're starting to get players back. The Ravens, to me, it's either Ravens or pass. But I think Baltimore's getting healthy at the right time. Jackson returns. The hook kind of bothers me a little bit, but when the bookmakers put a hook on the game, whether it's 3.5, 7.5, they are begging you to bet the other side. That's the way I read it. So, but I'm going to go with Baltimore over Miami.
I agree with you there. I think that Jackson coming back is going to make a world of difference, and you got to think that he's chomping at the bit to get out there and do some good stuff. That's for sure. Ravens -7.5 over the Dolphins tonight. I know you have a sheet for Del Mar today as they open the season there at Del Mar today, and so we'll take a pick there.
Yeah, let's see if we can roll through the week with lots of winners, Ralph.
Yeah.
At Del Mar, let's go to race number 1. It's a mile on the grass. And if anyone has been following Southern California racing, they understand that turf races in particular go through the Philip D'Amato barn. He has done a phenomenal job, especially with European imports. And he's got one here, the number 2, Lucky. This horse was purchased privately overseas in England, and he's had plenty of time to acclimate this horse, train this horse, get this horse ready to fire first out of the box. He gets that man Flavien Prat. I really think this is a great spot. In fact, I made him my best bet of the day, Ralph. Number 2, Lucky, U.S. debut in race 1.
Well, I got to tell you, that is one heck of a name there. That's for sure to get lucky. In the first race, first post time at Del Mar today, folks, is 12:30. And this, of course, a singleton for the early pick 5 at Del Mar. First race, number 2, Lucky. Yeah, Flavien Prat aboard. Rich Ang's play for the day. Remember, he's got an entire sheet for all the races at Del Mar right now at the racedaylasvegas.com website. So, all right, Richie, get ready to buckle up, my man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All right, you got it. And let me give you right now, before we go to our break, I want to give out the picks from John Lindo and Jonathan Hardoon. So, Jonathan Hardoon did have a pick at Belmont at Aqueduct, but of course, as you know, they canceled there. So no harm, no foul on that one. So the selections, both from John and Jonathan, come at Del Mar. So at Del Mar, in the third race today, Jonathan Hardoon's only pick left is in the third race. It's also a maiden race for 2-year-olds at a mile on the turf. And in that third race, he likes number 3, Honey's Choice. Number 3, Honey's Choice at 3-1. With Umberto Rispoli aboard, is the play from Jonathan Hardoon, third race, number 3 at Del Mar. And don't forget, Jonathan has a full sheet. He did the work before he left, before he's traveling. So he's got a full sheet for Del Mar, Churchill Downs, and of course the one for Belmont at Aqueduct is now a souvenir. But he's got those two at his website. All right, now let's go to John Lindo. John Lindo's selection comes in the 9th race. And in the 9th race today, John Lindo likes number 3 as well, but that horse is named Ambaya. Ambaya, the 3 horse in the 9th race with Murphy aboard. So you got one of the, I guess, European jockeys on that. But nevertheless, in the 9th race at a mile on the turf for 3-year-old fillies, an optional claiming allowance race, he likes number 3, Ambaya, which is a ship and win horse in the 9th at Del Mar, the 3 and the 9th at Del Mar. And John Lindo, who is also traveling, did his work before he left, and he's got a full Lindo report today for Del Mar with selections in all the races, a suggested late pick 4, and of course all that goodie information at the bottom. The full comprehensive Lindo report for Del Mar is available right now only in one place in this gaming capital, is right here at the South Point in the race book, and it's free of charge. Complimentary to horse players. And so we'll take our final break. When we come back, Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Don't go away.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
The best part of the nighttime racing season at Los Alamitos is here, as the best quarter horses in the nation set to compete in our biggest race, like the Los Alamitos Super Derby, the Champion of Champions, and the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity. Plus, the best bets in night racing continue, like our early and late pick 4s, always with the best pools at night. And of course, our Pick 6 promos on Sunday nights. The best part of the year is here at Los Alamitos.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
All righty, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Let's go out to Jerry Jackowitz real quick. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Now, Jerry, Aqueduct is canceled today because of bad weather, so we don't have any selections at Aqueduct. But before we talk about the Breeders' Cup races, because sometimes you'll get long, let's get the pick for Del Mar out of the way.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go to race number 3 here today.
Okay.
Click over here. Green screen, Grand Motion Oscar Performance horse. 2 sprints to a route. I really like the way he finished last time. A young 2-year-old, looks like he's just starting to get into his game. So at 4-1, I think he might be worth a play. We got a star on the sheet, so I'll take the 8. It's a good win place bet, and the 8 with the 2-3-7.
Okay, 8 with 2-3-7 in the third race. Earlier, Jonathan Ardoon came with the 3, so I have a Siraco play box here. I got the exact box of 3-8-8-3. It's part of your link-ups as well, but that'll be the Siraco play. Your play is the 8 over 2, 3, and 7 and reverse. That, of course.
I want to say this because the 3 is my top-rated horse, but I have another star horse in the races who I think is also very live.
And I want to tell everybody that is one of your link-up horses as well. So you got that covered, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. 8 over 2, 3, 7, and reverse. All right, that's at Del Mar. And, of course, Jerry's got a full handicapping sheet today at Del Mar at jerryjspowerpage.com. Jerry, you wanted to talk about the 8th and 9th races in Breeders' Cup, but you didn't identify to me on the message that you sent me what day of the 8th or 9th races.
Oh, Friday.
Okay, Friday's 8th race is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf. Go.
Correct. Well, I just thought it was a real interesting race because there's a lot of unknowns, and this is like a place where handicappers can kind of throw out ideas that they thought were interesting. Like, for example, Imagination Lady with Frankie Dettori, just undefeated, 2 turf races. You just really don't know what her upside is. She seemed to win pretty much in hand, so she would definitely be interesting at an amazing 10-1. I don't know why this looks like 10-1.
Okay.
And then number 2, Queen of Hawaii is shipping in. This is a 12-1 filly, shipping in from Ireland. You have to sort of guess that this trainer, Joseph O'Brien, is a pretty good trainer.
Yeah.
Feels the horse will run well on firmer going, and so this sort of looks like a smart trainer shipping to a condition that he thinks is really excellent.
Yeah.
Also 12-1.
Okay.
It's also double digits.
All right.
And
so
then,
go ahead real quick because we got about a minute left.
And number 12, Pacific Mission from Andrew Balding. I can't discount that reason here. I mean, it's very obvious, and he even tried this one on the synthetic, so it almost looks like he might be looking for a different surface. And the filly did run very well on a soft going, so if this filly prefers firm going, this might be a really good one at 15-1.
Okay,
so
now
3 horses.
Okay, now here's what I want to do. We're going to tease for tomorrow because the 9th race is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. We know we got East versus West in that, so we'll wait and do that tomorrow because I don't want to rush you because we're running out of time. Okay. But in the 8th race, 3 nice long shots that you like: the 2, 3, and the 12. Right in the face of the 6-5 favorite, number 13, Precise. 2, 3, and 12 in that 8th race tomorrow. So with that tease for tomorrow, all I have to say is we will be here for Breeders' Cup Day number 1. Don't forget the special today at 3 o'clock here at YouTube. YouTube today, 3 o'clock. Be here. And, Jerry, you got one more thing to say for today's show.
Have a great race day, everybody.